Hello and welcome to Gunner Studios. In this video, we'll be creating a level sequence so that a video plays at the beginning, and then after that, go ahead and fight the boss. So the first thing that we want to do is go to the level that you want to create the sequence in. I'm going to do it in the level 1. The next thing you want to do is come up here, click on this button, and then click Add Level Sequence. Next, it'll take you to this. I'm just going to create a new folder, call it Sequence, and then I'll click on that. You can call it whatever you like. I'm just going to call it New Level Sequence. Click Save. Then once it loads up, it'll be right here, and I'm just going to drag it over here on the content browser. I'm going to drag my content browser down just so I can see this better. So the first thing we want to do, so you can see that it's just a simple timeline. You can click the spacebar to play, and you can drag this around to change the start and end of the timeline. But what we're going to do is click on this button right here that looks like a camera, and then that will create a camera for us and then put us in the field of view. So now we're piloting it, and we can see what we're doing. And you just control this the same way that you do in the viewport. So I'm right clicking with the mouse to pan, and then I'm using the WASD to move around and the Q to go down and E to go up. So you can just control that, and I'm gonna get the first shot just being of the character, and then I'm gonna scroll down, and on transformation you can go down and you can change all of these individually. I'm just going to do transform, so that's going to save that point right there. And I'm going to get out of this by clicking the eject button, and I can see that the camera is right there. And next, I'm going to click on the AI character, and if you haven't put it in the scene yet, just drag it in, and then click track, add to sequencer, and then you'll see BP AI appear. That's the one we've selected, so click that. And what we're going to do is add animations and then also show him walking. So the first thing we're going to do is go to the BP AI, click the add, and first we're going to do animation. I'm going to type in walk, and now if I click play, you can see that it's playing the animation. I can also take the animation and drag it out to whatever length I want, and since it's a looping animation, I can just do it for however long I want. I think I'm going to have him walk forward about that long, 70 seconds, so I'm going to drag that over here, and you can see that he's just walking in place. That doesn't look right, so I'm going to collapse this, and then I'm going to go to the BP AI, click plus again, and then I'm going to select transform. I'm going to drop down, and then on the first frame, I'm going to add new keyframe, and then I'm going to find the cinematic camera, right click, and then pilot, and then I'm going to click on the character again, and then I'm going to drag to the end of the walking animation, and then use the arrow to change the position, and then click plus on the transform. So now if I click play, you can see that he's walking, and then he stops, and after this he'll start to chase the player. So we want to add another animation, and we'll do idle. So he walks, and then he goes to idle. That's the wrong idle animation though, so I'm going to do that again, animation plus, and then type in idle, and I'll do the sword and shield idle. And I'm going to hold control and scroll to zoom out, and I just want it to be just for a little bit because I want him to swing his sword afterwards. It's like if the boss is walking towards you and then taunting you by swinging. So I'm going to type attack. So we'll watch it from the beginning. He walks forward, looks around, he swings, and I'm not going to do the whole swinging animation. And you can pan by right clicking and then dragging. So I'm going to right click, pan, and then just right click and drag this across to view. So I'll put that there, and then right once he finishes swinging, I'm going to cancel that by just dragging this over to here. So now he does the one swing, and then he stops. And then I'm going to select this clip right here, and I'm going to copy, and then I'll paste, and then just drag that up there so that he goes back to the idle. So now that we've animated the character, we can now finish animating the camera. So I'm going to scroll to the beginning, and then drop down, and you can see that we have our transform at the first one, and I'm just going to play the animation until it gets to the end of the walking, and then I'm just going to zoom out and then set the transform again, so that way the camera just pans out, and then I want the camera to stay until he swings. So once he finishes swinging, I want to set the transform of the camera again, because I'm going to move the camera to the player's field of view. And to know about where the player's field of view is, I'm going to add the character. I'm going to select the player start and then delete that. And then I'm going to click on the content drawer, go to characters, character 1, and then character BP. And then I'm going to select the cinematic camera again, right click, and then pilot. So now I can see what's going on. And I'm going to use the controls down here to change it. So I'm going to change the Z axis so that he's facing. Then I'm going to come down to the cinematic camera, come back down to transform, and then I'm going to scroll to the end of the animation, and you can make it longer by changing this. I'm just going to scroll to the end of it, and then I'm going to control the character to be where the camera is, and then I'll click the plus. And then after I do that, I'll click eject, And if you click play, you're not going to be able to play as the character. So click on the character, type possess, and you'll see auto possess player is disabled. Change that to player 0, and make sure this is placed in world. And then also we want to get our level sequence. I found it over here. You can also type in the search bar level sequence to find it, and once you do that, clear it out of that search, and you want to do autoplay. And you can also choose from looping. That would be for if you have like a main menu or something and you want to loop level sequence. That's not what we're doing in this one, so I'll just go ahead and click play. And you can see that it goes ahead and plays our animation, and once he does that, it goes right into the camera, and now we can play. And back in the sequencer, I'm just going to make sure that everything ends at the end of it. So I'm just going to drag all of these to make sure it all lines up correctly. And then on the BP transform, I'm going to come to the end, just set the transform again, and then I'll save and click play. And now it should be working correctly. He's now walking and chasing me, and now we have a good level sequence. So I'm going to show you how to do it if you like finish the level and then you want a cutscene, or you have to walk into a certain area to make the cutscene happen. So I'm going to come over here with the level blueprint selected, untick the autoplay, and then I'm going to get a trigger box and then put it right here, and then I'm going to move the guy back, and then I'm going to get some cubes so that way they have to go in through this way, and then I'm going to come up here, open level blueprint, and then I'm going to drag that over here, and then I'm going to select the box trigger, and then back in the level blueprint I'm going to type begin overlap box trigger, and then I'm going to do end overlap for box trigger. You need to make sure that you have the box trigger selected. And then I'm going to come over here, type in the level sequence, and then take that, drag it into here so that we can get a reference. And then off of here, we want to get the sequence player, and we actually don't need this one, we just need the sequence player. And then drag off and click play, so I'll put that right there. And then we actually don't need this one, and then we can just compile and then play. And then if we walk into the box right here, you can see that it plays the animation. Obviously the walls are in the way, but you get the idea. Then we can fight the bad guy. That's all for this video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.